On a frigid morning in Beijing, top Chinese officials met behind closed doors. Their agenda: a plan to halt America's most advanced industries. The method: cut off rare earth element supplies to U.S. defense contractors. This would cripple production of F-35 jets, missiles, and more. When news leaked, panic hit the Pentagon and Wall Street. The U.S., a superpower, was nearly entirely dependent on its rival for these critical materials. This wasn't a bluff. It was a calculated move. For years, China had quietly built a monopoly over these minerals, the backbone of modern technology. No rare earths, no smartphones, no electric cars, no advanced weapons. The CCP's plan was a test. How badly would U.S. companies suffer if China restricted exports? The message: Beijing holds a powerful economic weapon. The West woke up to a harsh reality. The global supply chain is now a tool of leverage. By controlling rare earths, Beijing has a kill switch for key U.S. industries. Imagine a crisis. China turns off the tap, and U.S. assembly lines grind to a halt. This is the reality of 2025. The implications go beyond the military. Green energy, wind turbines, EVs, depend on rare earths. By controlling supply, China can dictate the pace and price of the global energy transition. The secret plan to cripple U.S. defense was just the beginning. It's part of a larger strategy to dominate future industries and reshape the global order. The world has been put on notice. The question now: how will the West respond? What are rare earth elements? Despite the name, they're not rare. 17 metallic elements, like neodymium and dysprosium, are scattered throughout the Earth's crust. The challenge isn't finding them, it's separating and refining them, a process that's costly and environmentally damaging. These elements are the vitamins of modern industry, used in tiny amounts but essential. Neodymium magnets power everything from smartphone motors to electric cars. Without them, batteries drain faster and performance drops. The military relies on rare earths for guidance systems, radar, and the F-35 fighter. National security depends on a steady supply. Rare earths are in laptops, fiber optics, and MRI machines, everywhere yet invisible. This dependence makes China's control so alarming. When one country dominates the supply of these essential ingredients, it wields unprecedented power. Only now is the world grasping the full extent of this dependency. The stakes couldn't be higher. China's rare earth dominance is no accident. It's a result of decades of state planning. In the 1980s, Deng Xiaoping declared, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." China ramped up production, ignoring environmental costs, and undercut global competitors. The U.S. was once the top producer, but by the 2000s, China supplied over 90% of the world's rare earths. Today, China still mines about 70%, but more importantly, it controls 90% of processing. Even if other countries mine rare earths, they often send them to China for refining. State subsidies, lax regulations, and cheap labor let China flood the market, driving Western mines out of business. The result: a near-total monopoly. China sets global prices, holds vast reserves, and owns the technical know-how. It's not just about mining, it's about controlling the entire supply chain from ore to finished magnet. Other countries are decades behind in technology and expertise. China didn't just win the game, it rewrote the rules. The West is now scrambling to catch up. The question: is it too late? The world is learning the cost of complacency. China has shown it's willing to use rare earths as a weapon. In 2010, after a territorial dispute, China quietly halted rare earth shipments to Japan. Japanese industries were thrown into chaos. Prices soared. Under pressure, Japan released a detained Chinese captain and the embargo ended. China denied any ban, but the message was clear: challenge us, and we'll hit your economy. Since then, China has repeatedly hinted at using rare earths as leverage in disputes with the US and others. The mere threat creates panic and uncertainty in global markets. It's economic warfare in the shadows. The 2010 incident was a wake-up call for governments worldwide. China isn't just a supplier, it's a strategic player. The rare earth weapon remains ready, silent, and potent. The world must prepare for its next use. The US once led the world in rare earth production, thanks to the Mountain Pass mine in California. But in the 1980s, China's cheap, subsidized rare earths flooded the market. US companies, facing strict regulations and high costs, couldn't compete. Environmental issues and costly cleanups added to the burden. By 2002, Mountain Pass shut down its main operations. America quietly surrendered its leadership in this critical industry. After Molycorp's bankruptcy in 2015, Chinese interests acquired key technology and assets. The mine later reopened, but for years, US ore was shipped to China for processing. The fall of Mountain Pass is a cautionary tale of lost foresight and strategic neglect. America's dependence on China was sealed by a mix of market forces and policy failures. Regaining independence won't be easy. The lesson: critical industries can't be left to chance. The cost of complacency is now clear. China's rare earth strategy extends far beyond its borders. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, it's buying stakes in mines worldwide, from Africa to the Arctic. In Africa, Chinese companies invest billions for mining rights, securing future supplies and denying them to rivals. In Australia and Greenland, China has sought influence over major deposits, raising security concerns in the West. This isn't just about owning mines, it's about controlling the entire value chain. Chinese firms use their own labor, equipment, and logistics, creating a closed-loop system. It's a modern form of resource colonialism. The result: China's grip on global rare earths is tightening. They're not just the top producer, they're becoming the dominant owner and financier. The West faces a global contest for control of tomorrow's resources. The stakes are only getting higher. The West is finally fighting back. The US and allies are racing to rebuild rare earth supply chains, from mining to magnets. Restarting domestic production is just the start. Innovation is key. Scientists are developing cleaner processing methods and recycling rare earths from electronic waste. Researchers are also seeking alternatives to rare earths in motors and batteries. International cooperation is essential. The US, Australia, Japan, and the EU are coordinating investments and sharing technology. The goal: a resilient, diverse network that can't be held hostage. But rebuilding takes time, money, and trust. The finish line is far away, but the race is on. The outcome will shape the future of technology and security. The world can't afford to lose. Despite new efforts, the West remains vulnerable. Building a rare earth supply chain takes years, billions in investment, and skilled workers. China's 30-year head start won't be easy to overcome. It can still manipulate prices and undercut new projects. Environmental concerns and local resistance slow Western progress. Even if the US mines and processes rare earths, much of the downstream industry is still in China. The challenge is rebuilding the entire ecosystem, from mine to finished product. Can the free market compete with China's state-driven model? Will Western governments stay committed, or return to cheap Chinese supplies when the crisis fades? The CCP is betting on Western impatience. The future of technology, energy, and security hangs in the balance. The West must choose: rebuild independence, or remain hostage to Beijing. The clock is ticking.